How many times will a home seller counteroffer? Yeah, that's a great question. In fact, it's a frequently asked question from home buyers preparing their first offer on a home. If you're about to buy a home and you're trying to better understand how the negotiation process will work, then understanding how to better control the negotiation is going to keep some of your hard-earned money in your pocket. I'm going to explain how you can not only prepare for how the home seller will react, but I'm also going to show you how to control much of what the seller does. You see, the negotiation process is where most buyers give up money that they should have kept in their pockets, but this doesn't have to be your experience. Sit back and take this all in. It will help you get the best deal possible when buying your next home. Hi, I'm Joe Manausa, author of The Business of Getting Business and the creator of Manausa.com, where I have helped tens of thousands of people buy and sell homes. I would like to help you too. If you already are a subscriber, thank you and welcome back. If you are new to our channel and you appreciate accurate housing market reports, answers to your real estate frequently asked questions, and virtual tours of some of the nicest homes in Tallahassee, then you've come to the right location. Hit subscribe to get started and the bell so you are the most informed buyer or seller in your next real estate transaction. Did you know that a recent survey of home buyers conducted by Chase Bank showed that 8 out of 10 home buyers reported that they wished they had known more about what to expect before they bought a home? Think about it. 80% is a lot. Many of the respondents reported that they were nickel and dimed throughout the process, or they ended up modifying the house within a year of closing, discovering it was not the home they should have bought. That's crazy. I'm curious if this has ever happened to you. If so, please share your experience in the comments section below. The survey results reveal the process that buyers use is outdated for today's digital real estate market, and that those who rely on past experiences are often the ones wishing they had been better prepared. Fortunately for you, by virtue of you watching this video and others like it, you'll be able to join that small group of buyers, that 20% who are happy with their purchase and end up in a home that is just right. If you are wondering how many times a home seller will counteroffer, you're not alone. It's a common concern among buyers with today's housing market conditions. In order to provide an in-depth answer, let's first explore the conditions that will determine the answers. Like most decisions we make in life, fear and greed rule the housing market too. We make decisions because we fear we're losing out on something, or we make decisions due to an intense desire for something. The concept is important for a buyer making an offer, as you will want to trigger the seller's fear emotion, not the seller's compulsion for greed. You see, all home sellers start out greedy, wanting to get the most money possible for their home. But it is possible for you to construct an offer that triggers the home seller's fear response. If you're able to do this, you'll be able to control how many times a home seller will counteroffer. If you've been paying close attention, you probably have noticed that I've used the word control several times. You see, in order to limit or stop a seller from countering your offer, you have to take control of the negotiation. So how do you do this? Think of it this way. Negotiation is like the kids' game of tag. Everybody knows who's it and who's not it. In a real estate transaction, the seller starts the game in control. The seller has the property, so the seller is it. The seller sets an asking price that determines whether or not the seller is still it. If the price is super competitive, the seller remains in control. The home seller, with an aggressive asking price set at or below market value, has no fear of losing a buyer, because if the first buyer goes away, there will always be others that want to buy the home. After all, it's priced to sell. But if the seller is a bit greedy, and many are, then it is likely the initial asking price was not aggressive, and thus the home won't sell immediately. In fact, once a home is on the market for a few days, the control moves to the buyer. So the seller has relinquished control, and now the buyer is it. If a buyer wants the home, then an offer must be made. The strength of the offer determines whether or not the buyer will retain control of the negotiation. Let me say that in terms of the question that I'm answering in this video. The strength of the offer from the home buyer determines how many times a seller will counteroffer. If your offer is too low, the seller will counter. If your offer is too high, the seller will accept and you will have overpaid for the house. So the real trick is finding a way to trigger the seller's fear emotion so that your offer is accepted unconditionally without you overpaying for the home. The price and terms of the offer must be strong enough to get the seller to accept without a counteroffer. To find this exact price and terms, you really must work with a real estate who is expert at current housing market conditions, not merely somebody who has worked in real estate for a while, rather somebody who studies the numbers in the market each and every day. This expert will determine a price the home will likely sell for, whether to you or to somebody else. That price becomes the target you're trying to beat, and you attempt to buy it at or below that price. For example, if you've been looking at homes in and around a certain price point and find the one that you like, ask your agent what she or he thinks it will go for if you do not buy it. Make your offer very close to that amount, and it's likely you've made a compelling offer. Remember, a compelling offer is one that is so good that the seller is scared of chasing you away with a counteroffer, yet not so high as the home could actually sell. Again, this is why your agent is so important when it comes to you buying a home and saving money. So, how does your agent do this? It comes down to supply and demand for homes similar to the one that you want to buy. For most price ranges right now, the supply of homes for sale is so low that well-marketed homes are getting multiple offers. In a case like this, a good agent will be instrumental in helping you determine an offer price that is likely going to be above the seller's asking price. This agent will know how to couple your price with favorable terms for the seller. We have helped buyers get houses when their offers were lower than some of the other offers because we knew how to couple terms the seller would prefer. For example, we ensure that our buyers are pre-approved for a loan so that sellers don't have to give the buyer an out for financing. This might not seem like a big deal, but removing financing concerns by taking care of them ahead of time could end up being a game changer that gets your offer accepted. Again, market knowledge and experience are critical components that your real estate agent must possess if you want to avoid being part of the 80% of buyers who are unhappy with their purchase. So the answer to our question of how many times will a home seller counteroffer, the best answer is 0. This means you took control of the negotiation and held it all the way through. Remember, the seller will only counter if you write an offer the seller cannot accept. There are 3 different scenarios you might encounter when you find the home you want to buy. Before we get to them, will you please click on the thumbs up button below the video? It is very helpful to me as it tells YouTube that this is a good video. Thank you. The first scenario that you might encounter once you have found an awesome home to buy is difficult to handle properly and requires supreme skills by your agent to help you, number 1, get the home, and number 2, ensure that you do not overpay. It occurs when the seller is priced to sell. If the home is listed at or below market value, you should expect that you'll have competition for the listing, meaning the seller will receive offers from other buyers too. If you make an offer below the full asking price, at best, you will get a counteroffer from the seller. Why? Because you failed to bring fear into the equation. The seller is confident in the price, and it is highly likely that your offer is not the only one the seller is considering. What if another buyer also submitted an offer, but 0.5% above asking price and demanded a quick answer? Do you think you'll even get a counteroffer? More often than not, you will lose the home to that buyer without even getting a chance to negotiate. Has this ever happened to you? Did you make an offer on a home and get told you were outbid by another buyer and you didn't even get a chance to up your offer? If so, share your experience and how you felt in the comments section below. When a seller in a highly liquid market is offering great value, write an offer at a level that beats all other offers. An agent who is negotiating many homes each month will have a good estimate of where your offer should be. The second scenario is one where the seller's asking price is less than 5% above market value. Most people looking at this house will be disappointed in it as they are comparing it with nicer homes that are better values. There's a good chance that this seller will not receive multiple offers. A good real estate agent will research the home to see how long it's been on the market and if it was listed previously with another real estate agent. Before you prepare an offer, you have to make a best guess of the seller's motivation level. If the seller just hit the market, the home might be unattainable unless you're willing to pay above market or wait until a future date when the seller's motivation changes. Assuming that you're not willing to overpay for the home, the best strategy here is for your agent to determine its likely eventual sales price, and then you make an offer based upon how much you like the home. If you must have it, offer 100% of that likely sales price, not 100% of the asking price. If you are less than in love with the home, make an offer that your agent thinks the seller might accept. I'll warn you though, it's very hard to negotiate with a low motivation seller. And that brings us to the third scenario, where the seller's asking price is well above its market value. There is no offer you can make unless you are resolved to buy this house and overpay. Why? Because a seller who is grossly overpriced is not motivated to sell it at market value yet. You should not even go look at overpriced houses, because only two things can happen, and they're both bad for you. Either you'll fall in love with a house you should not buy or cannot buy, or you'll end up paying more than fair market value because you chose to attempt to negotiate with a low motivation seller. And this seller will counteroffer just about anything you put in front of them. If you feel compelled to make an offer, prepare it at a price and terms that you think the home is worth, and tell them to take it or leave it, and tell your agent to discard any counteroffer. Walking away from a low motivation seller does not have to be final. You can come back and make the same offer as often as you like. If the seller is significantly overpriced, your offer is the only action the seller is getting. Just like they say you cannot negotiate with terrorists, you also cannot negotiate with low motivation home sellers, as there's always plenty of them out there. When they have unrealistic expectations, it takes time on the market to educate them. Over the past 30 years, it's been my experience that the best deals we've seen for our buyers have been obtained by writing offers that were so close to what the seller wanted that the seller chose not to counter. So there you have it. The question of how many times will a home seller counteroffer has been answered with 0 if you write the perfect offer. The key to getting the best deal is proper preparation. Work with the agent best prepared through market knowledge and current activity with buyers to get you what you want. And have all your ducks in a row. For example, don't just get pre-qualified for your mortgage, instead get pre-approved. Just click on the top video to discover the important difference between a mortgage pre-qualification and a mortgage pre-approval. The other video you should watch is a short tutorial on how to use a saved property search to alert you of new listings when they hit the market. The supply of homes for sale is very limited, so being the first to know is a huge advantage in the market today.